Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a very special video for you. I'm doing my very first tag video. This is a luxury this or that tag. This tag was created by Tarina from Luxe Handbag Lover. Now Tarina was one of the first people who reached out and welcomed me to the Luxe YouTube community when I first started my channel. So I'll forever be thankful for that. And I'm really glad that I'll be able to do this tag video today. I was asked to do this video by 3 YouTubers who've become my friends here, including my Favorites with Maggie, From Jen with Hope, and also Luxe Granny Grace. So thanks you guys for asking me to do this tag video. I also just wanted to thank everybody who's supported me so far, subscribed, watched my videos, and commented. It's really given me motivation to keep on doing more videos and sharing my love of luxury with the community. And if it's your first time visiting my channel and you haven't subscribed, then I do videos about luxury and beauty every week. So if that's something you're interested in, then please subscribe to my channel. All right, without further ado, let's get on to the tag video. So this tag is a series of basically choices between 2 items from a particular fashion house. And as I go through each choice, I'll kind of give a brief explanation about my decision process. There's 3 fashion houses involved in this tag: Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and Hermes. So first of all, let's start with Louis Vuitton. And the first this or that is key pouch versus 6-ring holder. So I actually have a video about this I shot really recently comparing these 2 items. But for me personally, I'll have to say key pouch because I think that the key pouch is more versatile. You can use it as more than just a key holder. You can use it as a wallet, whereas a 6-ring holder, really you can only use it as a key holder, so it's not as versatile. Next, we have Damier Ebene versus Damier Azur. I don't have any Damier Azur pieces. I really like the blue and white pattern, but I do hear that they are prone to denim transfer and discoloration or yellowing over time. So for this, for versatility and longevity, I'll go with the Damier Ebene pattern. Next, we have mini Pochette versus Pochette Accessoires. So I actually do have the mini Pochette, but because the Pochette Accessoires was one of the first bags, the very first designer bag that I actually wanted, and I still haven't gotten my hands on it yet, I'll have to go with the Pochette Accessoires for this one. I think it's more versatile. You can use it as a handbag, you can use it as a pouch inside a bigger handbag, versus the mini Pochette. I think you can't really use it as a handbag on an everyday basis due to its size limitations. And I hope soon I can get my hands on a Pochette accessoire. I know right now they're super hard to find, or they've been hard to find, for the past few years. Next, we have Alma versus Speedy. I think for sentimental reasons, because Alma was the very first handbag I purchased from Louis Vuitton, I'll have to go with the Alma. I especially like it in the BB size, although I think the Speedy probably would work more for everyday use because of its larger capacity. But I really like the shape and uniqueness of the Alma bag. Next, we have Neverfull versus On The Go. So I don't really use designer tote bags that often. Usually I use tote bags for work, and they're more contemporary brands. But I think for visual interest, I kind of like the On The Go better. I like the the contrasting of the giant monogram with the reverse monogram. I think it's more visually appealing, so I'll go with On The Go for this one. Next, we have Petite Malle versus Boite Chapeau. I think for strictly capacity-wise and also functionality, I'll go with the Boite Chapeau. Although the Petite Malle looks very nice, and I really like the call back to the heritage of Louis Vuitton and its trunk making. But I think for practicality and also cuteness, I really like the shape of the Boite Chapeau. Next, we have Nano Speedy versus Nano Noe. I think for this one, I'll go with a Nano Speedy because the Speedy has a zipper closure on top, which I feel would make it more secure, especially for such a small bag. Nano Noe, because of the drawstring closure, if you don't close it all the way securely, I worry that contents may fall out. Although I hope one day I can see both these bags in person and see whether it would suit my lifestyle and hold my essentials. But for this one, I'll go with the Nano Speedy. Next, we're moving on to the Chanel fashion house. So first is Caviar versus Lambskin. Again, for practicality and durability, I'll have to go with the Caviar. I hear that it's very hard wearing. And I've also seen some Caviar pieces in Chanel's store for their SLGs. Although I really love the luxurious look of the lambskin, I think if one already had, you know, a couple Chanel bags in Caviar, then they could probably branch out to lambskin. But for my first Chanel bag, I will probably choose to go for the Caviar due to its harder wearing abilities. Next, we have Chevron versus Quilting. Just for the classicness of the design, I will go with the quilting pattern, although I think chevron and bright cups of color is also very pretty as well. Next, espadrilles versus slingbacks. So for my personal style, I think the espadrilles would better suit my lifestyle since I tend to dress pretty casually and I don't really like to wear heels. Although the slingbacks look really nice, I think it would be really beautiful paired with like a nice flowy summer dress. But for myself personally, I'll go with the espadrilles. Next, we have Trendy CC versus Coco handle. So I like the Coco handle look better. I like how it's not as rectangular as the Trendy CC, although both are very similar, you know, shoulder bags that can be crossbody with a top handle. But for me personally, I like the Coco handle more. Next, we have Chanel 19 versus Deauville. I would personally go with the Chanel 19. I like its unique take on their classic flap design, whereas the Deauville is just like a cloth tote bag. I feel the Chanel 19 is more unique and it looks nicer as well. Next, we have Boite versus Gabrielle. So I think for me, the Boite is a bit too boxy. I worry that if you wear a crossbody, it could stick out of your body too much. So I think the Gabrielle would be a nice hobo bag that more molds the shape of your body. So for this one, I'll go with Gabrielle. And I also like the two-tone hardware it has as well. Next, we have classic flap versus reissue. I think for my first Chanel purchase, or what should I have purchased first, the classic flap versus the reissue, it would have to be classic flap. Even though I know the 2.55, it came out before the classic flap, but I think just from the looks wise and elegance, the classic flap looks a bit more elegant to me and probably more useful in more situations. So for this one, I'll go with classic flap. Next, we're moving on to the Hermes fashion house. The first one is Clic, Clac versus Clic H. I think because of the chunkiness of the H and the metal, I prefer the thicker band, so I'll go with the Clic, Clac for this one. Next, we have the Oran sandal versus the Oasis sandal. I really like the look of the Oasis sandal, but for me personally and practically, the Oran sandal probably better suits my lifestyle just because I don't really wear heels that often. So I think they both are very versatile and would go with many outfits, but I will go with the Oran sandal. Next, we have Etoupe versus gold. I think I like the Etoupe better. It's more neutral. I feel that it will look nice against both silver and gold jewelry. Versus the gold is quite warm and it would probably clash a bit with silver jewelry, but that's just what I think personally. Like both are nice colors, but I would personally go with the Etoupe. Next, we have Togo versus Epsom. I think for handbags from Hermes, I would go with Togo because it's slightly more pliable and more flexible, whereas the Epsom is quite rigid and almost plasticky, like similar to Louis Vuitton Epi leather. So for handbags, I'll go with Togo. Although for Hermes SLGs, I think Epsom could be harder wearing. Next, we have Evelyn versus Picotin. I will go with the Evelyn because it allows for shoulder and crossbody carry. The Picotin is nice as well, but you can really only hold it as a handheld. And for me personally, I like bags you can carry on the shoulder and crossbody more. So I will go with the Evelyn for this one. Next, we have Birkin versus Kelly. Since I like to have different carry options, I'll go with the Kelly because it has a strap that, you know, allows for crossbody or on the shoulder carry. Although hopefully, you know, one can dream one day maybe I'll have both of these in my collection. But for practicality purposes, I would choose the Kelly for this one. Alright, that's it for the tags. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks to Rena for creating the tag, and thanks again to all the supporters of my channel. I really hope you'll come back and watch more videos. And again, if you are not subscribed, then I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.